Title of publisher is really, I am not a real publisher. I started a publication by default. Since I own it, I'm publisher. There's two real publishers in the room. One of the best publishers in town is Sam Taylor. The Folio Weekly does a phenomenal job of publishing, and also with Play Today and others. So company's called Client Focused Media is our main company. Client Focused Media, I came down from Illinois in 2001. I was with a radio group in the Illinois market, came down to help my uncle move his wine collection. He got transferred to Mayo to head up nephrology. And living next door to him was a gentleman named Lex Staley. Anybody heard of Lex and Terry? So I was talking to Lex next door. I was on air and radio, did marketing, sales, promotions, and he said, why don't you come in and sit on the show? Went in, sat on the show. He says, be interested in interviewing you on the sales side. They offered me a job. 16 weeks later, sold the house, sold the boat, traded cars, dropped the girl, and moved down to Florida. September 11th, 2001 was my first day at Cox Radio Group. It was a great day to start media as an ad sales rep with them. Trying to sell ads for the entire month of September in 01 was very challenging. In 2002, I left Cox Radio, started Client Focused Media as an advertising agency. We were good at buying media. We learned about, I knew radio, I learned about TV, I learned a little bit about print. Actually, one of my first clients in the firm was the Eggers family. Who knows the Eggers? Dale, Rory, Mercury Moon Roadhouse. We bought their radio ad. We worked with Sam and the Folio to advertise with them, and then I started a company shortly thereafter called JacksBars.com. The Eggers had a challenge with the big super clubs. We're getting a lot of people. How do we drive traffic to those bars? So we started a co-op between different bar owners to start a website, and this was back in 2004, to basically where people could log on and see what's going on at different bars and restaurants. Folio was the only place I advertised, which built JacksBars.com. And then Jack's Bars later became The Buzz and so on and so forth. But Client Focused Media, our main job was to work with clients to help provide solutions for advertising as media buyers, as planners. Shortly, our clients' needs changed where they need some graphic designers. We were utilizing Folio Weeklies and Times Union and other graphic designers. And we started having to earn our commission and working, so we hired a graphic designer and then a web developer. And the company continued to grow and expand based upon the changes that our clients had. And I apologize as we kind of go through. I have some really cool animations that will wow you guys, but you're not going to see them today. So, marketing communications, the environment is changing. Basically, with mass markets, they're becoming fragmented, causing advertisers to focus more of pinpointed marketing as opposed to the mass media. The improvements in the technology are causing a lot of the segmentation as well. And with the fragmentation, instead of that mass marketing approach to the pinpointing, looking at how am I going to reach the customer that needs to go to a family practice, media dollars. When I started the agency out of a client, I have $100,000 to invest in media. On the next slide, with a very cool presentation, we had choices. We had the phone book. The phone book, a wonderful media. The rep would come in, we'd meet with them once a year, and they would say, love for you to renew. We're only increasing 10%. But if you chose to not take the increase, you actually stepped backwards in terms of the size of the ads, and you had to increase. If you didn't increase, you were basically nobody. You'd lose your placement. So we had radio. We had television. Actually, on the last slide, we're fine with that. But we had radio as a choice. We had a few radio stations to choose from. Television, as well as billboards. And then there was the print publications. All the different medias, and you can stay here. Different ones have changed. Yellow Pages. We had a client, Bailey's Powerhouse Gym, years ago. He actually called us to call the Yellow Pages because phone books, instead of being delivered to the doors, were being dumped in his dumpsters. And wanted them removed because he couldn't put his own trash in there. With billboards, there's changes in laws. As you see, billboards coming down. For every one they want to put up, they have to remove. And Sam might know this. It's 3 billboards they have to come down.
It's under discussion just that way.
And talking to Brent Bollock, who's the CEO of Clear Channel here, the president of Outdoor, you see more digital billboards. And you look and say, I'm advertising digital. Now you're shared with 10 other advertisers. And so as these changes continue to happen, how is your company's advertising message reaching the customer that you need to reach? This is just some of the Jacksonville radio stations, and not including Pandora, iHeartRadio, and others. So when St. Vincent's looks to get the message out there, how are they going to create the message to go along with it? And these are some of the TV choices. So for our clients, and I'm trying to make this not so much about us, but if you take anything away, it's focus internally. how are you going to get an integrated approach for your business? And we were talking prior on, a lot of our clients utilize Folio. Folio produces one of the greatest return on investments for our clients in print. They've got how many hundreds of thousands of readers do you have on a weekly basis?
111,000.
111,000 on a weekly basis. Now, Folio owns an audience over here. Now, Play Today. How many audiences, or how many readers do you have?
59,000.
59,000. And they subscribe to reports that pinpoint people, that target, that will give you reports that here's how many people are reading or listening to radio or viewing the television. So as an integration company, our job is to take the facts from what they have on different medias and work with the client, like St. Vincent's down here. Who is your target demo? Who do you want to reach? What message do you need to give them? Now this is the important part when it comes to messaging. When you create a message with all these different choices, and you can go to the next slide, lots of different pictures and whatnot, you're creating the message, the strategy. Who's in the strategy meeting? Who's in charge of marketing for your company? Who thinks they could do a better job marketing their company than the person in charge? Everybody wants a voice in the market. Now, with doing marketing, I'm going to pick on people, and this is how it works. This is a working conversation, so when you ask a question, you get rewarded. So let's start. Someone asks me a question, I'm going to reward you.
What day is it?
What day is it? It is Wednesday. And actually, on Friday is my birthday, so you guys can all sing to me at the end of this meeting. All right, so your reward is, we have a promo product company. You're going to get a $100 gift card for you. No purchase necessary. But the disclaimer on all these gifts, you have to donate one to your charity of choice. So thank you for asking the question. All right, so on the
How old will you be, Fred?
35, but you were up. All right, so on the marketing, when you look at this, a lot of times what's happening, and we're going to pick on different people here, Sabrina with Junior Achievement. Sabrina runs Junior Achievement Clay County. She basically runs the office. Let's start talking about your division roles. You run the office. What else do you do?
I recruit volunteers,
Okay.
marketing.
Actually, we're going to play a game. I'm going to give you a $100 gift card for, Clyde Focus Media, $100 per job role that you have currently. So, first one is run the office.
I run the office. I recruit the volunteers. I'm in charge of marketing, business development, school development, so recruiting the schools. I'm the secretary. I do all of our data input and entry.
You do training.
I do training, facilitation for volunteers, business partners, and the schools. Networking.
I'm exhausted.
Let's stop at $3,000. All right. So there's $1,000 worth of gift cards for free. Web design, graphic design, and everything. So on that, all right, marketing, and you can start breaking this down. Who creates your message?
Well, it's our national office and myself.
Do you know what the message is?
We cater it to our...
Do you know what your marketing communication message is that you take to the community? And then how does it integrate? You handle your social media. You said you have a
Right.
Facebook page. Doing all that stuff, how can you properly even start to execute on your Facebook? Do you have LinkedIn?
Yes,
Okay. Who handles your LinkedIn?
I do.
How often do you update that?
LinkedIn probably once a month, Facebook every week, and we don't have a Twitter yet, but they want to add that.
And how's that going to help your business, a Twitter account? And a lot of these, I don't know the answers to. When we integrate, we actually start bringing in the experts, and we'll go over some of those areas later. But with those, you have a lot of responsibilities. As you probably have a lot of responsibilities. When it comes to marketing, what are you doing with marketing?
On every social media site that there possibly is. She's probably doing the same thing. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I go and join different groups all over social networks, like groups that I would never even think of joining just to get my info out there, like, the Rainbow Club of America. But I mean, it works.
So you're out there with messaging.
Yeah.
Now, we met with a client last week that his website that he wanted redone had a summer sale going on. or a winter sale, but his social media was promoting a summer sale, and his print ads, and I think the print was in Times Union, was promoting some other event coming up, but there was no consistency. The person who designed the ad was not even speaking to the person doing the social media and didn't bring into the room the next people. So a lot of the integration that's going on right now, lots of people need to be involved, but it's expensive. Now, St. Vincent's, and I love your campaign. You guys have done a great job getting it out there. Your awareness in the community has been just, from what you were 3 years ago to what you guys are today, it's incredible. But with the messaging, to bring in all of those people to run, it's expensive. You have 8 marketing roles. If you had to take off one hat and hire somebody, which hat would it be? And actually, we'll pick on someone else so you can win some prizes too. Who else does the marketing? Raise your hand again. Okay, what's your company?
Personalized Rapper, the Celebration Favor Consultant.
Excellent. So in terms of marketing, you do a lot of different tasks. If you had to take one of those and you can have any employee for free, which employee would that be?
I'm the only employee.
You wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Now, if you
I
could,
would love to have somebody for marketing. That would take a big load off of me.
okay. Now in marketing, what kind of load in terms of time frame do you invest in marketing every week?
Let's say what I should and what I am are two different things. I'm saying that probably only 10% of my time is done with marketing.
And this is where we start analyzing. When we get in with clients, it's looking and saying, all right, where are the pain points? What are you doing? And I don't know a whole lot about social media. I've got Tiffany McDonald who runs our digital division. But she sits down and asks questions, and you say all these different organizations are reaching out to you. What is the integration, and how are they communicating back with you? Do you have someone that responds? Another client we're looking at, they're trying to sell CDs. Has anybody heard, it's a birthday song, my family, we sing this to each other for the last 35 years, it's called Captain Zoom. Has anybody heard about this guy?
Sing it.
My name is Zoom, and I live on the moon, and I came down to Earth just to sing you this tune, because, Michael, it's your birthday today. So, growing up as kids, we would sing this song to everybody. My brother and sister will call me in a couple days and sing it. So I reached out about 3 months ago to the company Captain Zoom. It was started in 1976 by the ABC Corporation. They've sold over 4 million copies of this song all over the world, over 4,000 names in it. We'll personalize, put your name in the song 7 times. So I called the company, and I actually send this to clients on their birthdays. And I sing it to them on their birthday. So my clients started calling me up and saying, hey, can you sing this to my brother on his birthday? It's actually gotten me more business off this Captain Zoom song. So in LinkedIn, if you guys are using LinkedIn, I've still got a gift for you, don't worry. On LinkedIn, when you're using it, you know it opens up, it says in the morning whose birthday it is that day. What kind of marketing resource is there for you right there to make that extra phone call? So I went to the website, called the company, and said, I want to buy 100 credits to this company. It's $15 a song. And I seen if I could negotiate down to $10 a song. Started talking to the person who answered the phone, the owner of the company. He's 87 years old.
Yeah.
He says, and then we started talking, and talked about why I'm doing this and my clients, and he talks about Illinois is his top market. I said, it's because my family's probably bought about 1,000 songs from you. But started going into conversations. He says, well, I'm a young 87. I'm getting ready to do a national advertising campaign to go back after the mothers. And then he starts going into his succession plans and company. He has 4 children, 2 doctors, 1 attorney, and no succession plan, and all this other stuff. Him and his 88-year-old wife have been married 65 years. Madly Love came up last week to the market. And not only they want to hire our firm to create an integrated approach, they have 30,000 customers in their database that are buying CDs. Create it. He's asked our company to be a succession plan. Which now, as a company, which I'll go into later, the integrated approach that we do for clients is making sure that they have experts in every area. But at the table with the client is each of the experts in the integration teams. So on the next slide, this just shows a lot of small print. I will email these slides out so you can see them. But with businesses, they need about every single one of these things on here. So research. There's a focus groups, there's analysis. Well, once you get that, what are you doing with it? Other organizations, actually not-for-profits. Chances are, now you're running it, you're going to hire a marketing person. You're going to invest $30,000 to $40,000 a year in a marketing person. They're going to be fresh out of school. They're going to leave you every 1.5 to 2 years. We have a client, Players by the Sea, down at the beach. Joe Schwartz, great guy in the community. He basically has gone through remarketing people in the last 5 years. And he has to stop his business to retrain them. Now, one marketing person with brilliant website design designed his website. But now the new marketing person doesn't know anything about web design and is now doing great at social media and has some good relationships with Folio Weekly. But now when that person is gone, your new person. So what we offer the clients too is you get an integration team. Before you get any media, you get 7 people that bring in the experts, different areas, and we'll show you that graph with that later. The next slide goes into the need for integrated solutions. So as I mentioned, worst case taken away from this, and then we're going to go into a lot of question and answers and different scenarios, and I'll pick on almost every single one of you in this room. The need for it is because your business, with all the changes, my company has had to grow to this. We're getting ready to acquire 4 new companies in the next 60 days because my clients need those companies. It's also an in-source for us instead of outsource. We had a scenario with a website that we built for a client. We have in-house developers, but it was a code, a language that we didn't know. So we used outsourced teams. So as a client, if you hired my firm to build a website for you, do you care how it gets done? As long as it gets done. So we hired an outsourced team. We bid this out. One company was 12,000, one was 16. They were comparable in experience and whatnot. Ends up coming back, and it's coming up on deadline. We still hadn't heard anything with the outsourced company. Our development team's waiting for a piece. The company finally calls and says, oh, we lost our employee 2 months ago. The employee that bid the company, or the project, the employee that was part of it, but because it was a vendor, they weren't honest with our company. Now, our client is waiting for the website to roll out in another week. Not only did we eat $16,000, we ate another $20,000 to hire a company to get it done the next month. Now, and that's where integration comes in. Each of your businesses have these different challenges when you hire somebody. How many hire graphic designers? Web designers. Anybody building a new website? Does your graphic designer or website designer ever talk?
I don't know.
And what we all don't have is time. Buying your time back from you. You mentioned that 10%. You spend 10% on marketing. The school's rule. I'll give you your gift and I'll take it on you. You are going to get $100 to Jacksonville Party Company. Donate $100 to charity. But you're investing 10% of your time doing marketing, 10% doing development. You are, pardon my language, half-assing all of these different things, and they'll never be successful. And then we meet with clients, and Clay today and Sam talked about this too. They'll come in, they won't take Sam's advice, and they'll run smaller ads than Sam recommends. And then they'll say advertising doesn't work. They didn't trust the experts. Or they ran an ad. How many ads do you get that they design that look horrible? So a client comes in, they hire our firm, and then they tell us what medias they want to buy. It doesn't work that way because then we're held accountable for the failures and things like that. So this has been the change of our firm over the last 13 years. Started off as client-focused media and advertising agency. 2.5 years ago, I hired Dodie Cantrell-Bickley. Dodie retires the president of NBC ABC here. She has national relationships with the heads of CNN and all these different clients. Dodie's role for clients is to integrate their platforms and national PR communications platform. We have Jacksonville Party Company, a full-service event planning company. We produce several events. We did an event last year in coordination with all the community, all the medias. It's called Jackstoberfest at the shipyards. Randy Goodwin and I put up $250,000 to throw an event for the city downstairs, and our whole intent is to spawn new events and turn them over to chambers and other charities to run these events. We have a video production firm that we're bringing in-house. Look at PRC Digital Media. That's one of the new companies that is coming underneath our umbrella. Ray Hayes is multi-Emmy winning, works with major clients as well as has a GSA military contract. It's been an expert with me for years. Actually, the Concourse of Guns has produced that video for years. Bluehorn, we acquired a media buying software firm out of North Dakota about 5 months ago that we have close to 100 agency partners that now utilize our media buying software company to buy media all over the country. Expanding the reach for our clients. So when we buy for our clients in North Dakota and California, we've now expanded the reach for our clients for their integration. Lowest price promos. The gift cards I give away, the average markup on promo products is 100 to 200%. So if you order a shirt online, it's $10. My cost on it's $5. So I give it to you for $6. I make $1, you say $4. We don't need to make money off it. It's not our main company. Web design, we have in-house. We're getting ready to work on acquisition of another web development firm, but web changes every day. And they get cheaper, but there's also more bells and whistles. And when you build a website for a client and then something changes online, well, now it's our fault because you didn't build me a site to last for 50 years. So we've got to make sure that that is constantly updated and integrated back in. In-house digital, SEO, social, this still baffles me of all the changes every single day. How much time do you invest in it? How do you keep up with it? And I'm told if you don't ever respond to your Facebook page, it's better not have one. Or different things like that. Now, these are all people's opinions that Tiffany, who runs it, has a master's in internet technology. I didn't know masters exist in that, but that's her life. And she just lives it, breathes it, and is constantly messaging out there. Graphic design. You can go online and get 100 logos for $195. Graphic design you can get very cheap. Now, a lot of it, you don't realize someone else owns the trademark and things coming in, but there's a lot of these services that are becoming where there's so many people looking to do graphic design just on the side or websites on the side. The problem you have a lot with that is we always find out that you ran that in all these ads and now you're getting a possible lawsuit or there's different areas. But how is that design going to integrate with everything else you're doing? We acquired a company called Burning Bush Creative, David Barbush. Basically, that guy who just comes up with crazy ideas and creates strat plats, we call them, or strategies for clients over a 3-year period. Actually creates your brand. But when he's doing that, all these other experts are sitting at the table with the integration team. And then last year we brought on Cole Pepper. Anybody know Cole? Cole is the sexiest guy alive. That's what he likes to hear, and he's walking around the office all the time. But we always have to make Cole feel special because he is awesome. But our productivity, once he joined the firm, went way down. Everybody's just talking about sports all the time, but the employee satisfaction went way up, and Cole's hanging out. But why would a client need sports marketing? Does anybody do any sports advertising with Jags, Suns, Sharks? Now, if you're looking to target an audience, Suns games, and I'm making up this number, but Suns have about 150,000 people a year that go to a game. Pedro probably says 280,000 people a year. You walk out and Pedro's like, there's 14,000 people here. You're looking at like 9 people in left field. But, so we look at our clients, Atlantic Eye Institute and Bailey's Gym, and others that might want a sports-minded audience. Well, many of these teams are short-staffed and their employees wear 19 hats. So you buy a promotion, who's going to make sure that gets integrated properly? Or when Moe's Southwest Grill on the field in Jags games, everybody does the "We Are Jaguars." How's that going to integrate to their social media at the same time going out? Their website being updated the same day, giving away contesting for people to win tickets to that game. Their PR going out with that campaign. We're doing for Ashley Furniture right now. The sleepovers, or they give away the best weekend. 9 divisions of our company is tied into doing that. Where it's not just when people say, let's just send out a press release. It becomes a lot more. Actually, we've invested about 95 man hours in the past week in just getting that Ashley Furniture out. You have 95 hours in a week to do everything else. And we've got a couple other components that we're going to be continuing that in, but we've had to continue to adapt our company and our companies because of our clients' needs. I am not the expert in any of these areas. We bring on the experts, and their job is to say, all right, this is how I'm going to add to it. And one more example of, we work with a client called Girl Power to Cure. Has anybody heard of Rett syndrome? I've basically cried every time I have a 3-year-old daughter. Rett is a lack of a protein where girls get to the age of 2 to 3, and then all of a sudden within a week to 2, progress backwards to being in a wheelchair. They can't talk. They have seizures. They usually pass away at a young age. Now in the past 10 years, there's been a lot of advances. Actually, is either Wolfson's or St. Vincent's. There's been a lot of research behind it, but they've identified the gene 5 years ago. They cured it in mice 2 years ago. Now they've got all this stuff that Julia Roberts 10 years ago was part of it. Hillary Clinton 8 years ago was part of it. They're not aware of all the research of where it is today. They want to take it to human testing. The lady who started it, they're actually based out of Fernandina Beach. She says, my daughter one day said, Mom, my legs hurt. All of a sudden, and it's sad where it goes, but here's what we do for them. They want a national campaign to raise money and awareness. Awareness raises money. That we're this close. There's an opportunity in your lifetime to see a cure for something. So what are we going to do with it? Dodie is working with her relationships in all the markets to get them to tell a story about these girls. We had an opportunity with players in town and all these other people. They do the Disney Princess Run, raised over $200,000 off 50 people doing Disney Princess Run. Disney asked them to go to Walt Disney Land in California and be a part of it. Well, that's press-worthy. That could get some attention. So we have to find those stories that get people want to cover it. The event planning company. They are now going to be a major part of some events in the community. They want to do, we have 10 charity partners for Jack's Toberfest to donate the money off that too. They're one of the 10. She's good friends with Zach Brown Band and wants them to perform in the private party inside their tent to raise money for them. We have the video production. We're telling the stories of each of these people. We've now got, with the media buys, Bluehorn, we're buying media in different countries or different areas, but the first part of the campaign is really PR, getting the awareness out. Promotional products, they buy tons of promotional products, so it's donating different products so they can sell it. At the Disney Race, they raised about $40,000 just in merchandise, shirts with their flowers. The website, we're building a new website that makes sure we can collect the donations online. It gets them to tell the stories. So they have a site from about 3 years ago that just doesn't accomplish the needs. Everybody's website needs to accomplish something for them, so it's making sure that piece is there. Digital SEO, we had Jenny McCarthy talking about this, and so Tiffany, we call it, or she calls it social stalking. She can social stalk anybody, but she's getting people to retweet and post, and she gets excited when there's 11 shares. 11 people talking about it. Shared. Our graphics team. Now, this is one service we did not want to sell her, is graphic design. She is a graphic designer, and her stuff is phenomenal. No matter, if ours was even better, we could never please the client with graphic design. So we make sure our team is there. We just donate graphic design hours to assist and take that off of her. This lady has done not only taking care of her daughter, but she has done the marketing, the CEO, the travel all over the country to talk about it. So she has now reduced her time by half to not have to wear all these different roles and hats. The creative campaign, we're creating a brand and basically Go Ret Win. We're teaming up with the Jaguars of Sons, and we want to launch a national campaign for a Power of the Flower campaign. It's where cheerleaders and other girls raise money. They plant gardens of hope to raise money for Girl Power Cure, which will raise awareness. So we're going through our sports teams where they're going to plant a garden at each different field in town, each cheerleading squad, and it's going to work from the top down because it's Cheer for the Cure. And that's not our trademark or anything else like it, but a campaign like it. Every one of our experts has been involved in this campaign. Now, Cole Pepper made it easy because he's already on every sports show and has relationships with the team. We now take out their advertising budget. We spend money with the teams. We're not asking for this for free, but we've become a community partner, which drives press. Now, we've got the medias that are covering the stories out of these Cheer for the Cure days and whatnot. So that's how we take an approach. But outside of all these experts, the Circle in the Middle, CFM, is a team of 7. They are your 7 marketing people. They are working for you nonstop, where anytime you meet, you've got your team there. When they leave, they go meet with the experts and make sure that all the communication is being done, working with the media buys. And we've got a great relationship with Folio. Again, they've been one of the best assets and greatest working relationships with our clients. But you mentioned you talked to Renee, and we're working on things. That's our media partners. Now, every Folio, there's also Clay County, Clay Today. There's also Florida Times Union and 9 of their other publications, Jacksonville Magazine, publications, TV stations. We've got about 130 media reps in this market alone from every media. And we buy it for clients in markets. I've got employees in Denver and D.C. and all these other areas that we have the same thing. It takes time. And a lot of times we get calling up all the time, people saying, I'd like you to spend money in our newspaper. A lot of times business owners will not listen to the Clay Today because they don't have the time. But the Clay Today can make a very big influence on what's going on in the organization. And I forgot to mention, my assistant today, Taz Patel, Taz came on as the Chief Operating Officer of our company 3 weeks ago to work on the integration of our new companies. And Taz has been very influential in Clay County, and actually probably knows about half the people in this room. But we are continuing to build and expand resources because our clients keep asking for it. The very last slide is on basically us, my contact information. But now I want to turn it over to you guys for questions, and remember the rewards for questions. So what's coming up next is $500 gift card to the Buzz magazine and $500 to a charity.
What's your typical ROI, or does that vary between different size companies?
I'm going to answer this in 3 ways, and I might not even answer it. But in ROI, it depends on the client's needs. Now, we have clients come in and say, how much do I spend on advertising? It's a loaded question. What we do with clients is saying, all right, what is your budget? What is your expectation? And we treat a lot of charities the same way, and we work and we donate a lot of services, but they're a business. We represent 25% of our clients are not-for-profits. We work with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Hands-On, many others. But budget, expectation. You might say, I've got a $1,000 budget. Awesome. What do you need? I need 100 new customers. It's not realistic. 3 months. So an ROI depends on the business. And we need to get inside your businesses here. What are your margins? You sell health and wellness. So what's your average customer spend a month with you?
It just depends.
$200 a month? Average.
We'll just go with that as a...
Okay. So, and that's where we start breaking it down. It's all on your bottom line. Same thing if we take out $1,000 a week out of the folio, and they reach 150,000, I'm not misquoting that, 112,000, 111 weekly readers. All right, you have the opportunity. You're selling health and wellness. You take out $1,000 ad in the folio. You have the opportunity to reach 111,000 people. Now, out of the 111,000, they can show you the reports that show how many like health and fitness. And it might be 50,000 of them are interested in health and fitness over the next year. They're going to go to a gym or something else. Out of the 50, how many live in Clay County? Out of Clay County, how many are within 5 miles, specifically 5 miles? You break it down. And then you say, well, Folio only has 200 locations around my gym. Well, how many people in Clay County actually go downtown Jacksonville to work? And Folio is an out-of-home medium. So when you're out of the home, you're downtown eating in a restaurant, you're actually driving back home to Clay County and then see your ad. So did I answer it or just go way off?
Not really. That's okay. That gave you an opportunity to explain more. So let's
okay. ROI depends on the business. Everybody has some pick their advertising budgets. I'm going to spend 12% of it.
I just disagree because you're looking at a ratio. So I mean, whether you're going to put $10,000 into it, I'll put $100,000 into it if I'm going to get a 4-to-1 ratio. It depends on where your ratio
I'm going to argue
is.
with you on that. You're not, because you can't afford to. Your business can. We have a client that put roughly $150,000 in. Well, we didn't realize that this business, the advertising campaign was too successful. They didn't have enough staff to maintain it. They didn't have enough cash flow to pay for the media, and then they started canceling it. And you probably see this all the time too. Is we can show you, nothing's guaranteed, but we can say, if you invest X, and you know your closing ratio is 62%, we base our clients and what we put together is based on what they think it is. Every restaurant is the best food, the best service, the best pricing. When you realize you go in there to eat, horrible food, the pricing's expensive, and you wouldn't go back there. And they say, well, my ad didn't work. We can deliver people to someone as a communications firm, but we look back and sit down and look at your strategic plan to answer the questions and create a plan that works for each individual business. So sorry if I didn't quite get around to that, but ROI.
No, that's right. That's a complex topic, so
Very.
that could be a whole seminar on it.
All right. You're going to get lowest price promos, but your chamber, so you get to donate them to 2 charities that are here today. Go ahead and ask me a question.
Okay. What do you recommend for like the smaller businesses who can't afford, say, a company like yours or anything else? What is the best marketing tool? Would you say social media, getting out there, networking?
Another loaded question. It's a company like ours or an integrated approach inside the company. If you only have enough time, you look at each media. Social media might be the answer. But what do you need it to accomplish? It's not all in price. The same thing you might look at and say, $1,000, that's expensive. Well, there's programs that only has to start at $150 a week and different things. So every different area looks at what's your expectation to get out of it. So someone who has $500 a month, what do they do? $500, I would invest in opportunities like this with the chamber. You're looking at who's your main target that you want to reach. And I'm going to base this scenario off a $500 a month advertising budget.
Okay.
I'm looking for anybody that is going to do a celebration or wants to give out a gift. So I do personalized wrappers.
Okay.
So
anybody who gives a celebration, I'm going to base this on Captain Zoom's audience too. Who gives out a gift? It's females ages 35 to 65 gives out a gift. Now, and let's just pretend that 70% of the audience who's gift giving is a female. Okay, so with that, where are females 35 to 65 hanging out at?
Nightclub.
This is somewhat true. What you don't realize is 50% of the divorcee market is out there. And are they giving out more gifts than not? And this is where it's looking in the research. But let's pretend they're hanging out at nightclubs. So what I would do is I'd go to Silverado down the street, because Silverado is now hitting 1,000 people every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 1,000 people, and 500 of them are your audience. You're going to go to them and say, listen, I'll give you $100 a week if I can set up out here and target your audience. Well, Silverado invests, made up number, but ballpark, $30,000 a month of his own advertising. She has an opportunity to coattail off of his advertising, to go to his email database, to go onto his social media. He loves the fact that you're offset his advertising costs by being proactive and doing it. So it's finding someone else who's investing that is within your demo to partner up with them. We do a lot of co-ops and represent a lot of co-ops. So I would take the $500 and I would find where your audience is hanging out and start becoming a part of that network, and then working on a referral system.
I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on. I've got to keep track of this. All right.
I just wanted a quick question too. What if you didn't have a budget and it's just yourself? Would you just recommend just finding your demographics or what you're looking for, and then just going out networking?
Give me an example. Who is by yourself outside of the...
I'll give you one.
Okay.
The Clay County Chamber does not have a budget in their marketing department.
I'll donate $10,000 of free ads in the Buzz magazine. Done. Awesome. But what I do outside of that, who do you want to reach in Clay County? And Toz fulfills my promises, by the way.
We have two missions. We want to reach the small business owner to help them succeed, and then we also want to have a community awareness program to promote their health and wellness and blood screening programs and other things that they do from a community angle.
So the first option I'd look at and say, Discovery Wellness.
Already a member.
Correct.
Thank you.
But he also needs your network. You're going after
Yes, he
a
does.
similar area. So I'd partner and say, let's create a co-op of 4 partners. You've got the larger ones with your hospitals, and you've got your smaller ones. And you create this group, and everybody puts into a fund to advertise, because his 500 and their 500 can't do anything by itself, but together you can now put them part of an advertising co-op, and then you match the $2,000. And you're going out targeting new customers and giving them the opportunity to be on a panel that you guys are on the panels now, boosting you up as the expert, but to cross-market to the database they have. A lot of people don't join the chambers. I'm making this up, but I've talked to other chambers because the value isn't there. I joined, but I didn't get anything out of it. Well, it's because they never engaged.
Exactly.
They didn't have the
Exactly.
opportunity.
Yeah.
So you've got an engagement issue, not of people wanting to be a part of it. So I would create opportunities for businesses to find value. For instance, and we're partnering with the Jacks Beach Chamber. I'm giving a $500 free Buzz gift card to every new chamber member because I want them to join the chamber. Now, it's $300 join the chamber. I got $500 for free. Where's it go? And so it's
We have
looking
several
at.
promotions, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then how do you get the message out there? So you can, which you probably bought the lists already of the new businesses opening up. I would partner with the newspaper and create it where you do the business profile, which you probably already do, that every new business that opens up, he gets an opportunity to get in front of a new advertiser. You get the opportunity to get in front of a new member. So if they join the chamber, they're going to get a free community spotlight inside the Clay Today. And he would donate half the page each month to do this because it gives his sales team warm leads right in front of them. Would you donate half the page per month?
We're already doing it.
Awesome.
I'm going to say we're already there.
So that's,
Thank you, John.
and these are just random thoughts where it's going outside the box and the norm of just, let's go spend money on a billboard or in print or on radio. Next question. Community hospice. We work with Coordinated Benefits Group. Steve DeSorbo, his partner, just most incredible guy. He sponsors tons of charity events. Charity. You want money? He's awesome. So,
No, that's fine. I just have a question because of the small businesses that sometimes get a lot of attention. But being from a big organization with community hospice, we already have a graphic designer, we already have social media. How do you work with an organization potentially like us?
what we do is we come in, and a lot of times you're a graphic designer. You have a lot of you're working on out of Gainesville, correct? Or is that Haven Hospice?
that's
Sorry.
right.
All right. So you have a campaign that's out there, and it'd be coming in and looking and saying, okay, you have your graphic designer over here, but our integration team now manages your designer. And it looks at what they're doing, but the hardest part sometimes with the graphics and the web, when we move fast. And if they now have to wait because my brother does my website, I'm doing my social media, my friend over here is doing that, there's all these different people that we have to communicate with. So I have a lot of clients that we work with their graphic designer. But if they can't get their stuff done on time, I've got 5 designers that work for me that are in the back doing it. And after 3 months, they usually realize if they're not good, it works itself out. Now, we don't want to replace your graphics team if you've already got that in place. My spots and dots, my different companies, you fill that blank. You don't need to just buy every service from us, but we need to integrate it together and make sure the expectations with your company up front are met. That if we use your graphic designer and the campaign doesn't work, if the design wasn't good, you're not firing your designer, you're firing me and my company. We have the expectations of an ROI for you on what we can deliver. So that's how we work with organizations. But we would analyze, you might not need every service. It's just looking first at your efficiencies on who's doing what, how can we supplement those areas. And one other point with that, your graphic designers, your web designers, your employees, you take sick leave, you take maternity leave, you quit, you move on. We're constant with clients. Many clients have been with us 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and we're doing the graphic design now, but we don't need to be. Ashley Furniture, we hired their in-house marketing person for them, recruited them. So for another company that's out in Clay County, they're going to go from 6 to about 80 employees in the next year and a half. Anybody know who I'm talking about? So you're going to start seeing all this stuff roll out. So with it, we are training their next in-house marketing person. Now, if they're trained our way and have all the resources, it's a win for them and a win for us. It's longevity, but this account is much bigger than us doing everything. So half of our clients, we work with a marketing director. We report to them because we don't want to meet with the owner, because the owner needs to be the owner and work on what he's doing, growing the company. So we're working as your assistants. Pretend you just got 30 assistants that work for you. You don't need a full-time designer. You don't need a full-time PR. And the efficiencies in it, our designer can get something done in 2 hours that takes others 8 hours. So did I answer that in a roundabout way? Okay, next question and more gifts. Hold on 1 second. You get your choice. You can have 500 to the Buzz, 500 to CFM, and the CFM gift card gets you free website services, graphics. Again, you don't have to spend any more money with any of these. Or Jacksonville Party Company or lowest price promos. One more question? Buzz. All right, we're going to do 2 more questions because I want to give out 2 more gifts. And I'll make them quick. All right, here's, if you pass those back, there's Buzz. Remember, I won't take 2. You have to donate 1 to a charity. Go ahead.
Nonprofit with absolutely zero budget for marketing.
Everything, we do a lot of donation. Love not-for-profits. They drive our community. Without not-for-profit, services wouldn't get done. We're doing a free campaign for a client right now. We're donating $60,000 of services. But I don't care if it's free. It's like they're paying us $60,000. But what's your expectation? Budget and expectation. It's okay that you have zero budget. But here's the issue I'm having with the nonprofit right now. We're going to create one heck of a campaign. And they're not going to have a penny to launch a great idea. So what do? So if we have the expectation that you're going to spend no money, well, we might build you a website, but if you have no money to promote your website, you have a beautiful website with no traffic. Every nonprofit is different. And many nonprofits, we've never had to spend money. Clay Today donates to us, Folio donates to us, Buzz donates to us. You don't have any consistency. You get PSAs on the radio. Every nonprofit's fighting over 10-second commercials that run nowhere. There's so many not-for-profits that don't have budgets. That's where Junior Achievement and others, when you treat them like a business, they're in to make money to provide their services. So we would sit down and figure out your 3-year strategic plan first. And who's on your board? You have a strong board. With your board all set, a budget, because if you spend $1,000 and it brings back 4, is that a good ROI for you? So it'd be sitting down individually and saying, what if you had a list of 5 things that you think you need, what would those 5 things be? So, and love to sit down and donate some services that it makes sense for you guys. Next question, last question. And you get, since you're the last one, I'm going to give you 1 of each. What business are you with?
I'm a freelance paralegal.
Excellent.
Okay, and that's where it gets really technical. And I know other than the legal disclaimer about not giving legal advice, it's marketing to, in general, to attorneys or to the general public. I mean, how do you go about that? Or is that something?
No, we work with a lot of attorneys. But it depends who's going to give you most of your business. Is someone in general public going to hire a
Would it have to be attorneys? Would it have to be attorneys versus small, simple documents, wills, things like that? Form filling, I can do all that.
Are you part of the Jacksonville Bar Association?
The Bar Association.
And who do you want to do your services for, Jacksonville or Clay County? Okay. So you're attending meetings. A lot of your stuff is networking in the beginning. You have 5 success stories that you can tell them what you've done business for. So it's a lot of credibility in the beginning. So everybody here probably hires a law firm for something. There's a lot of people in law firms that are going out on their own. So it's continuing to build relationships because you know that many of them are going to be having their own practice soon, and they don't have enough money to hire a full-time person right away. So, which creates a problem for you as well, is because you're always going to be replaced once they have enough money for it. So I would just primarily kind of networking. I'd also work with Clay today on this, getting the name out there. Do attorneys read your publication? Which section?
They read the legals. We run all the legals.
All right,
Yeah, we're
right
members of
there.
law, so-
But this is where you need to start out, and I will come in and put a price point in there because that's what you need, that hook to get you in right away. And even saying the first month I'm going to work at this price point, undercut yourself in the beginning just to get your foot in the door because they're going to introduce you to other people. The legal world's a big, small world. They all jump around and know each other. So you just have to provide good service to 2 to 3 attorneys, and it should work itself out from there. I appreciate you guys coming out today and letting me come speak to you. My card's on the table. I would be glad to sit down with anybody and help them out. Again, the gift cards, you do not have to spend any more money in any of those areas. There's no upselling that goes along with it. And if we can help you with anything, we'd be glad to help. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for coming. And watch your emails and your posts and Facebook.